Hey, it's a Wolf, and I've spent the last couple of days trying to figure out why the rates on my various iron farms suck so badly. Like, they're really quite atrocious. And I've tried the farm designs from pretty much everyone, tried all kinds of different things. So, you know, we have the standard pod like this, so this is 10 in a pod. I've tried splitting it into 4 pods of 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the villagers would sit in here. For this one here, the villagers would sit in here, so you'd have 10 in there, 5 in there. I have even tried this one where we have, come on, let me try that way. Where we have 2 in each. It does work, I swear. Go in there. There we go. So we have 2 in each, so they can access the thing on either side. I have tried putting the, so for example, the table would be there, and then the non-table there, for example, so having the table across like that. I've also tried the one where we've had basically a ring all around and then the center with beds, so that the villagers can wander around, and I've done extensive testing on timing and all that kind of stuff, and the conclusion that I've come to is that I don't know when it was introduced, possibly 1.19 given what else I've been seeing and other chatter, but the problem is that these villagers are taking a long time to work, and I think the problem is because when they're all crammed in, like in here or in here, even in here, when they're all crammed in, they can't turn and work, something like that. I've also tried having it on one side and having the bed on one side so that they're all still facing the same thing. Anyway, it's just not, like, don't get me wrong, the iron farms are still working, but they're just not getting anywhere near the rates to even kind of make it worth it, for time spent building and all that. You may as well get yourself a fortune pickaxe and go mining. So I have, however, good news. Pretty sure I've settled on a design that kind of fixes the problem. And as you can see over here, what I've done, I've just got a command block. This is for cats and for golem spawns. So I've got a command block, so repeat, always active, kills the iron golems after 5 ticks. And then, is it that one? Yeah. So then we've got execute command, and then the iron golem 3, it's called a tilde, set block, and then this thing here means the block underneath, and I set it to glowstone. So that's that command there. Repeat, always active, execute on first tick. So what happens is, and I've got the same thing for cat, it's identical, so if you want to copy that down and do it in your own one, it just changes the type from iron golem to cat. So then what happens, if we're watching here, so you see cat spawns, and then it changes that block to a wool block and then kills the cat. So you can see from here, I've got a whole lot of spawns, and I've tested it versus days. I've also got another platform under here, and it's really just not doing much. I've tested all the different heights, and from, let me just double check, I think it is from 5 blocks above. So if we go 6 including the bed, so that would be 1, 2, 3, etc. 6 that way, it will spawn, and then 6 underneath, so this would be 1, 2, 3, etc. So this platform here is spawnable. If I took out the top platform, all the golems would spawn here. Anyway, sidebar. But this design here, so these dispensers are here because they drop out water if we need, but I'm actually finding that the water is causing these guys to either jiggle around or whatever, but it's dramatically decreasing the amount that they work. So the dispensers are not part of the farm design. But what this is, we've got beds in the middle, and you can have the beds in any configuration, do whatever you want. But then we've got just a single one on each. There's only a single villager in each pod, I guess, and it is simply separated by a trapdoor. So it's basically like this. So we got a trapdoor that's flipped down, and then there's a villager in this one and a villager in that one. So this one here, I'm finding the rates to be, I mean, it's not the mega one that it used to be, but it produces right the way through. So at least the working isn't a problem. Now, if you wanted to make it easier on yourself, perhaps you, like, this is the ideal for a villager trading station. So it seems to be that the villager trading, hang on, let me finish that thought. So if we put these blocks on the outside, it makes no difference to the rates. So what we could do is literally do them on the outside, and the villagers can be in any configuration here. All that matters is where the beds are in relation to the spawning platform. So it seems to me that the best configuration for iron farms is actually a villager trading farm, villager trading iron farm. So so this one here, we could have all kinds of different workstations in the middle here. Maybe you have your walking platform around here. Other way that I have tried, which makes no difference to the spawning rate, so it's all good. Maybe you set this area here, set it back one, and then you can walk around on the inside of the beds. All we really want is to keep these beds in the center. And after having run it for like 5 hours real time, so many days, Minecraft time, I've not actually seen any shifting in the center. So the central block here, this one here, that bed there is the center of the farm at the moment. I've been trying to see whether there would be a shift in the center, but it's just not. This is the big problem with the iron farms currently, that the villagers are just not working. So if I was to, and I think the problem, the reason why the golems aren't spawning just yet is because I went out of update distance, and so they haven't worked since I've been back in update distance. So let me set the time. That should cause them all to work. We should start to see iron golems spawn shortly. Just set it to sunrise. So these guys are going to get to work, and once they've worked, we'll start to see the golems. Okay, so I just let that run for 10 iron golems. That took 5 minutes 45. So the biggest gap between spawns was 2 minutes 42. So it did eventually get there. You would have seen a bit of a gap in the footage between the two, but yeah. But it was funny because right before that it was only 4 seconds. So it went, 30, 12, 7, 4, 2 minutes 42, then back to 7, then a minute, then 54 seconds, and then 3 seconds. So it's 35 seconds that we've kind of come to expect, but the spawns are all over the place, and you would have seen one of them, this one down here, spawned on the bottom platform, so maybe one of those wouldn't have spawned if you just had this top platform. But honestly, there doesn't seem to be, as you can see from the results, doesn't seem to be much of a reason to build a bottom platform unless you're trying to get every single ounce out of it. But honestly, the amount of golems that are spawning on the top platform versus the bottom, it's just not worth it. So just do a top platform. But otherwise, I think we are going to stick with these villager trading stations. You could have these villagers kind of right on the edge here. That would work. Main thing is that you need to have the bed in the right place. All right, so that's it for this discussion on iron spawning mechanics, and it might be a bug currently, it might not. Maybe go try out some different variations, use some of the command blocks to make it easier, and let me know how you go. All right, hope you found this one useful, and I'll see you in the next one.